Hey everyone, want to get stupid again? me and my friend Jen, we both got this strawberry mold, and we were talking about like, what do you even do with it other than making it red and green? There's not a whole lot you can do there. And ultimately, we were saying that it comes down to, reading the room, knowing your audience. Are you going to make it for somebody who's simple and elegant and dignified? Or are you going to make it for somebody who's a goofball? So we thought with Jen being the elegant and dignified person that she is, she could do a sweet version of the strawberry, and me being the goofball that I am could do the sour version. Okay, so my original thought here was to like give it a face and give it some eyes. You can see I put some little googly eyes on there. It didn't quite work out. And I was going to put like some lips, but again, they kind of got lost in there. It's kind of dumb, but my daughter likes it, so whatever. I used like some red beads in it. And these were from a different project, but it's stupid. It's dumb. But I started thinking, like, do I have any molds that have eyes? Because I don't want to use plastic eyes. It makes it look kind of cheap. And then I remember I had this dragon eye, and then I'm like, let's do a Dragonberry. I've used this mold before, and I usually put the eye and the claws like on a jars that my friends use for things. So it really shouldn't be any different putting it on the strawberry. This mold's meant for like polymer clay, so it comes out like matte. So we're gonna have to give a little top coat. I thought to put a dragon tail around the bottom, but I feel like I'm gonna do that and we're gonna mess it up. So we're not doing that. We're not doing that. What we'll do is we'll take this green chameleon, we'll do the eye, and we'll do the lid and the claws. I was talking to my partner in crime, Miss Jen, and she was suggesting that I actually put some scales into the strawberry. The strawberry has its own little dimpling on it, so I'm not sure how it's going to work, but yeah, we'll give it a go. This is just some UV resin. We're going to make this one simple and easy. Some gold interference here. We'll just give it a little bit of shimmer, because if we just do it in clear or whatever, it'll disappear in there. It's missing a chunk because I was using it to texturize the tail, which you'll see coming up soon. I'm just going to go ahead and get this spread out. We'll cure it, and then we'll pick it off and put it into the strawberry. I also have some sort of snake scales. That's from another project I might chuck in. I mean, scales are scales, right? There's no, like, rules to dragon anatomy. I'm going to cure this. I'm going to stir up the resin for the strawberry. Or actually, I'm just going to cut back to the footage of stirring the resin for the strawberry. Don't ask. I figure we'll just do like a mix of the broken glass and the little scales. And I might possibly drop some alcohol ink in there. These probably isn't going to be cured on the other side. I'm going to have to... Oh, no. No, I'm not cured. Oh, nice. It's nice when things work out. It sucks when things don't work out. We're not going to talk about it. Ugh. This was good thinking, Miss Jen from the Resinart's Poorhouse. She's always got the best ideas. It bums me out that she doesn't do them herself, but hey, if you want to give me all your ideas, Jen, I'll take them. Okay, well, that's kind of cool. It's sort of making me not even want to do the broken glass. I don't know, what do you think? Oh, be careful. Shoot, it's a hazard. Okay. We were talking about, like, she said, oh, put dragon scales in it. And I go, you mean like patchwork? So sort of half dragon scale and half strawberry. Trying to think of how I can get the little glass pieces out without cutting myself. Tweezers, there's an idea. But are the tweezers here when they're supposed to be here? No. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking you should have a little lazy Susan or whatever that has all your little tools in it, so you just spin it around and find it. And yeah. Anyway, thanks for nothing. I found them. If you're gonna put broken glass into your mold, you need to be really careful that you don't squish it around too much. You don't want to cut through it and then have your resin leak, and you don't want to scratch it up. Of course, this very well might be the death of this strawberry, because I've done it a few times, and I think she might be on her last leg. Let's put these in. These are snake scales, but I think when you just kind of mush it in there with everything else, you're not going to be able to tell. Also, let's hit it with some color. Oh, there's a hair. Ugh. I want to use these anyway. This is from another project I'm working on where I didn't quite get it right, but I'm getting that one right. Don't you worry. You're going to see this one because it was cool. Oh. I feel like I'm going to get injured at some point or another during all this. Okay. Probably would have helped to not use a hard type UV resin. There's like soft types and hard types, and the soft types are easier to manipulate. Okay, get in there. This is going to look strange. I don't care. Whatever. I'm doing it. No, it really is dangerous. I'm not kidding. Oh, right here. Just trying to get some color on them so they're not completely lost in there. I think the red glass will bring them out, but just for good measure, we'll get some color on there. And this is a deep pour resin, so I have time to work this out. I'm not gonna rush. And if you ever cast glass and resin, you know, it pretty much disappears. In the case of the red glass, it'll, you know, just look like I colored the resin, but hopefully with those dragon scales in there and the gold, and maybe it'll give it some texture, some variation. So, got some little leaf bits in there. I don't know how those got in. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I had this idea for this project, and it seemed fairly straightforward, and then it kind of just kept growing, and now it's just out of control. This kind of reminds me of the episode of Star Trek where Neelix and Tuvok go into the transporter and get mushed together due to a glitch, and they come out as one person. Tulix. Sort of what we're doing here. We got a little glitch in the matrix, and we're getting a Dragonberry. That's kind of my idea too. I don't really want it to look like the dragon's kind of bursting out of the strawberry. I want it to look like it's a part of it. I had the AI do like a little concept for me. It's pretty frightening. I'll show it to you. You know, I'm in two minds about AI art. On the one hand, it's a really good tool for just hashing out ideas. On the other hand, it's sort of taking over. I think we all just need to be really careful and tread lightly with all this unknown technology that's emerging. You must be wondering what the heck this project was, huh? Jen knows. But like all my projects, I have to do them and screw them up and then come back to them and reapproach, because it's usually a first time like this. I did the strawberry already with the face, and I was tempted to just redo that, but I felt like I just needed to reapproach it. Plus, I like Jen's suggestion of putting little scales in, so we're doing that. Let's put a little bit more of this in. Oh, I will not cut myself. Because you know, if she can be hurt, she will be hurt. I just have to do this really slow because it's sort of finding its way around all those bits and pieces. Don't do this. It's a good way to screw up your mold. That said, if you are going to do it, just remember, these little silicone molds can take about 500-ish degrees. Torches, even heat guns, they heat the resin up too much. And once the resin starts getting past a certain point, about 100 or so degrees, the heat compounds. So your 100 becomes 200, your 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and then you get thermal runaway. Science, eh? So these things get to be, 12, 1400 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot. I probably don't even need to be doing this. This is going to take so many days to cure. These bubbles will find their way to the top. I mostly just want to make sure the voids are kind of accounted for. Is that a little speck of green again? That shit just wants to be in there. I don't even know where it came from. Where did you come from? Looks like a flake. Again with the green flakes. What are you doing? Just get out. That one little green flake's gonna ruin it. You better get out of there. Well, it's gone. Well, okay. Anyway. Oh, hey, look, the green came back. Ew. Get out. Nobody invited you. This thing's gonna be dead weight. That's also a little tip for you, like if you just have some broken glass, usually just, like if it's clear, just chuck it in. It'll disappear, plus it'll make your piece not feel so cheap. Because while these things can look like glass, especially on camera, in person, they feel like plastic. And that's just the sad truth of it all. So just right quick, let's do the eyeball, or the eye, and the claws. I'm going to do like the whites of his eyes in gold, because he's a dragon. This is just a plain gold mica pigment. And then for the rest of the eyeball, I'm going to just do like a green intense chameleon pigment. We'll do the claws and the tail in the same color, so it's all Oh, and the lid, duh. I'll leave that center black so that we'll put some black resin in there, and that'll make that part of it black. Now what I'm going to end up doing probably here is using a deep pour resin on this, which you wouldn't normally do that, but I want it to stay bendy so that I can really shape it around the berry and get it bonded to it. And I want it to just be kind of haphazardly attached. And I also don't need to carry this color all the way out because I'm not casting that whole thing. Problem is it's got that ridge right there. You see what I mean? Got that ridge. It's a little tip I got from Queen Julie herself. Mold's giving you trouble, you just cut it out. I think I'm gonna have no choice but to just cast the whole thing and then trim it. But that's again the reason I'm using a deep pour resin, so that I can do that. I have another one that I cast over there that's just been sitting too long, so it's really hard, and I could potentially heat it with a heat gun, but yeah, resin kind of has a memory that it sort of locks into after a bit, so I think the window has closed. With this, I'm just going to come back in later with a Q-tip and clean out his little toesies. Well, I might just go over it with a black paint pen later. I'll finish these up. We'll get them done. Let's get the lid. You know, the last time I did this bad boy, I forgot to burp all those little, and it came out a chewed up mess. But then I started thinking about, just plants, especially fruit plants like strawberries, they get chewed up. I suppose if you were going for realism, could have just left it, but hey, we want it to be right. Yeah, you really have to be careful you do molds that have a bunch of little teeny tiny points like that. Between having just bare spots and bubbles getting trapped in there. You think, oh, I don't mind bubbles, but some bubbles actually cause these gaps. And in the case of this one, it basically just got, the little tips weren't present because the air was blocking the resin from getting in there. So you always want to check, double check. That should be good. I'll mix up some resin for these and we'll come back. I have some black pigment paste here. And these are intense chameleon pigments, so I don't really need a black background, but it helps to, at the very least, have a dark background. Now, before I dump this in there, I want to get these onto a tray so I can move them later. I need to clean off his little pupil, but it's not going to matter. I have a black paint pen. It's fine. And also, I'm not going to fill the claws all the way up. We're going to be shaping these around the top of the lid. And so it'll help to just keep them kind of thin. Okay, so with this one, just right quick. And again, this is a deep pour resin, so there's no urgency here for me to move my ass. But I really want to make sure all these bubbles out. See those bubbles? Every single one of those bubbles would cause a break. And yeah, this is a deep pour resin, and it might release them, but probably not. This isn't really, this is like, the suction of the mold. Suction will win out over the slow curing of the resin. So you really, really want to get these all out. Take your time, squish them out, because it's going to ruin it. I think we're good. Nope, look, There it is. I gotcha. I gotcha. You do have to be careful doing this though, because you'll rub off the pigment that you just put in. That's no fun. I feel like that's something that's a little easier to deal with than like broken pieces on the edges. Okay. You got a little piece of silicone sticking out, being a pain in the ass, just nip. It's all good. Okay. I'm gonna attempt to sculpt a tail. I'm not a sculptor. I don't know anything about sculpting. So for the tail, I know already that I'm going to start with a log. The color choice here is, I don't know if I mentioned earlier because I've been filming this video in segments, that this is, I think it's plasticine. I'm not 100% on that. I'll have to check. I had my niece come in here and make one for me originally, but it didn't quite work out. So I'm going to have to give it another go. Okay, let's just start by rolling it into a log. Now, the problem we had when we did this the first time is that it just kind of looked like it was just attached on, you know? Like it needs to be a little more seamless. And we need to leave room for the eye. So what I thought we could do is maybe have it come up like this, and then we could form that into like a leaf shape. I probably can't get it to look like a strawberry leaf because they have serrated edges and that's not going to cast well. I already know. It's just not. So we're not even going to try it. Okay. Kind of want to leave this on here so I can figure out how to make it flow, you know. Now, again, I'm not a sculptor, so anybody who's watching me do this, don't come for me. Just don't. See, I know you can get fancy like sculpting tools or whatever, but you know, I'm a quilter. That's an art that was born out of necessity. Make it look kind of like a dragon tail, but we'll make it look kind of like a leaf. I was thinking about maybe making some little flowers to tuck in around the base. That might be overkill, but hey, if you want to do this and put some flowers in it, I would love to see it. I mean, that's pretty cute, right? It works. Does it work for you? You hate it. Watch, you'll see. Once we get the little textures on there, it'll look cool. I was watching, I think it's called Aken Craft. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I'll put a little link up there. You know, he was sort of saying that he was hitting like a artist block. When that happens, one of the best things you can do is just step outside of your comfort zone and try something new. Oh, my initial reaction to do this was to get my niece in here to do it for me because she's got experience sculpting. And I thought, you know, I can't do that. I'm not good at that stuff. And, you know, you could probably argue that I'm still not good at it. However, that started to look like a dragon tail. So, yeah, maybe I am good at it. Oh, a lot of the times when you have that kind of block, what it really just means is that you've sort of hit the limit of what you're comfortable doing. Because there's always endless possibilities when you're in a craft like this. when I started doing this project, I started thinking of all the different stuff we could do to it. Like, I could do a whole series of little hybrid strawberries. We can do this. We can do this. I don't want to mess it up, even though it's clay. You can totally fix it. But I did a little test run of one earlier that arguably came out cuter, but I messed the mold up. We're not talking about it. Just go away. Don't ask. Don't ask. But it's fine. And mistakes are always opportunities to kind of reapproach things. Get a new strategy. Execute a new vision. And I know you're probably out there thinking I should put wings on this guy, but after we get the tail and the eyeball and the claws on him, he's going to be full up. Plus, it'll make it really sharp. You don't want dragon wings out there stabbing you. It's not good. We need these two to join together as one. And what I'll end up doing is like casting these with a deep pour resin so that they'll stay bendy. I need to be able to really shape it around that strawberry. Oh shoot. Yeah, I want that to kind of go up a little bit. I gotta wait for some silicone to get here. When it does, we'll come back, we'll take a mold of this and hopefully wrap this up. I'm going to try to edit this video down into a watchable format because at this point, it's going to be many, many hours long. Again, I don't know what I'm doing here, and if it looks like I do, that's just an accident. Probably going to fiddle with this just a little bit more, but for the most part, I'm just going to try to get those joints to be seamless, because when we cast this in silicone, we don't need it slipping down there and doing all that business. So we're going to have the eye on one side and the tail on the other. I can't keep that together. Yeah, story of my life. Anyway, I'm going to fiddle with this a little bit more, make it fit, make sure the texture's locked in. We'll come back, we'll take a mold of it. Alright, let's mold this goofy tail. I put a little like chunk of silicone in there just to kind of take up space. And also this is platinum silicone, which means it's a little bit more flexible. And it's usually translucent. It looks like a little turd in there, doesn't it? Here goes nothing. I have really bad luck taking molds. I always just run into some problem or another. It's always good to pour it from up high. Just one straight stream. That stream will knock out a lot of those bubbles. And we don't have enough. Do we ever? Almost, but no dice. Hopefully I can get the level up. Kind of just want to tip it up a little. Would that be dumb? That wouldn't be dumb, would it? I can do that, right? I'll throw in these little filler pieces, see how that goes. If it doesn't bring the level up, then we'll just tip it. Still not coming up. Okay, we're just gonna tip it. I'm over this. I'm sure you are too. I'll just let it cure like that. That's legal, right? I don't know. So we're gonna ask Julie. My main concern is that it might be pushing up against the edge. This should be good. Clean this mess up. Leave this. We'll come back. Let's get this bad boy done. Now, since I tilted it, I'm going to have to obviously tilt it to mold it. But hey, it's better than wasting silicone. I hate having to mix up a bunch more just to cover a little tiny piece. I've got some of the intense green here. Let's try to level this bad boy, because that ain't it. And this is the point at which I would say, hey, I'm going to go mix up some resin, but I already did. Woohoo! See what happens when you prepare? Trying to find a good entry point. Okay, that should be good. Let those cure. Come back, we'll put this shit together. Alright. Okay, the strawberry is over there curing. While the eyeball's still soft, I'm going to wrap it around this guy and shape it and make sure we get it, positioned how we want it. I'm probably going to have to trim it. I don't think we have enough room for this and the tail. I got the pupil a little not good. Let's fix that right quick, because that's going to bug me. It's probably bugging you, right? It is. I know it is. See, we'll just fix it. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put tape on this bad boy and push it down, like, with all my might, and let it just sit and cure this way. Got some Gorilla Tape here. Not sponsored. I feel like I should probably be doing this to the berry that it's actually going to be on, but that one's still pretty soft. I don't want to cause indentions on it, so we'll get it where we need it to be, and then we'll put it on the other guy. Hopefully. I'm kind of afraid that's just going to be too much going on down there. You know what? We're here, so let's just do it. I was super excited about this project, and I still am, because I think it's a cute idea. However, it's been a challenge. I've had a few different attempts at this. Got some hair in there, don't we always? It wouldn't be a resin project if there wasn't a bunch of hair involved. Alright. I'm going to get probably some more tape and push that down, but we're just going to leave this guy. We're going to leave it. And really let it shape itself around the berry. And then we'll do the same with the claws. And I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do, because I already have some of these cast and shaped. So since we used a deep pour resin on these, they're still pretty bendy. If you don't use a deep pour resin, you can heat it up with a heat gun. I personally don't like heating plastic up. I don't think that's a good idea. But hey, you do you, boo. Nobody's trying to tell you what to do. That's typically what people do, is they Just heat it up a little and it'll get bendy again, because, again, it's plastic. That's what it does. So, what I did to shape the other ones is I just put it on here, and like the strawberry, I held it down with some tape. And so, through the magic of television, I already have some of these done. So, when I demold the lid, we'll attach them all with maybe some 5-minute epoxy. I'm not really sure. We'll be back. Okay. Let's unmold this bad boy. If it doesn't come out, we're just going to use this one. That one's cute. I like it. You like it? And I would have just used it to begin with, but I don't have the footage. You know, when I did that one, the rest of it came out like crap, and in a fit of rage, I just deleted it all. I hate unmolding on camera. Looks like a lot of my color went pink. How do we get pink? Well, it doesn't look like... What is that? I don't see the scales too much, or maybe you do. I mean, honestly, I think I see them better on camera there than I do in person. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I think it works. I think it'll work. I don't know. No, take a vote. I like this one better. I think it's a little more elegant looking. And I don't even hate the pink. I'm not a fan of pink, but I don't hate the pink. Looks pretty cool, actually. Kind of losing the dragon scale thing. That's... But whatever. Got a lot of gaps in there. I didn't... Thought I had it filled good, but I guess not. I'm gonna leave this for tonight so that this can just take shape, and then we'll come back tomorrow and we'll attach it. We'll put on the tail, the claws, all that bit. Alright. Let's put this bad boy together. First things first, let's have a look at the tail. First time I cast the tail, it didn't have, you know, like just had like a point on the end. It didn't look more like a snake tail, I guess. Which, I mean, would be fine. Like I said, there's no real, like, rules of dragon anatomy. But I kind of wanted to just look a little more dragon tail-y. That came out pretty nice. And, you know, if you haven't played around with that Plastalina stuff, that's what it's called. It's a type of clay that doesn't have sulfur in it, so it doesn't react with silicone. It's kind of tricky to take molds out of clay sculptures because it'll mess with how the silicone cures. Let me just try. A little bit of UV resin on there. While we're waiting for that to set up, we'll take this off. Well, that works, I guess. Huh? Okay, well, here we go. Now, see, here's what I can't do. I can't put it like right by the tail. We're gonna have to move him. He's gonna have to have his tail on one side and his weird ass eye on the other side. Okay, is that okay with you? Do you approve? Should I put it over here maybe? Is that better? You like that better? I'm not loving this gap right here, so what I'll probably do is stick it to like a piece of vinyl or something and fill that in. I probably should have cut it down a little bit, but I feel like it would go best right there. Like, it's going to be super close to the tail, but And I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do it. Wrinkle some glue out. Careful with this stuff, it stinks. You see all that little fine print there? It's safety data sheet. Stuff's extremely toxic. I'm not a fan of it. It's pretty nifty. Oh, I hate the way this stuff smells. And if I were doing this off camera, I would 100% be wearing a mask. It's hard to film and talk when you have a mask on. I do understand the personal risks, and I do what I can to mitigate them. Okay, so now that I've basically got it in place, we're going to put some more tape on there to kind of bend these spots that are protruding. And then we'll let it sort of finish curing. For these claws, like this mold is matte, so I'll just give it a little flood coat. Okay, let's get him out of his shroud, see how he looks. All put together. Now this hasn't completely set, but I want to get it while it's still like warm-ish. What is that business? I think that's some of the E6000. See, I hate that stuff. I'm just gonna ruin it. I'll deal with that in a minute. What I wanted to do was get it out while it was still soft so I could kind of get it, locked on there. It's not. So, I don't want to use the E6000. That's annoying and stupid. I don't like it. Okay, and just one last thing I want to do here. I'll wipe my hands, but I want to put a top coat on the tail and on the eye because these molds were matte. And since this is chameleon pigment, it'll just pop off a little bit more with the top coat. I think the main thing I was sort of trying to avoid here is making it look like it was just a bunch of pieces glued together. I really did want them to be one piece, and by the time I'm done with this, I could certainly take a mold of it. I'm just going to do this with my fingers. Screw the paintbrush. I'm tired of this. You're tired of this. We all want to go home. Let's cure it and clean up. Ugh. All right. Did we get there? We did. When I was reviewing the footage, I noticed that I forgot to show how I put the claws on and just drizzled some UV resin on there. Well, it wasn't rocket surgery. I also had a little bling bling right there. I also came in here with my gold paint pen, just kind of picked up his water line. Yeah, it's his water line. It's just because I got sloppy with the pigment and let it drift. My bad. I was talking to Jen after I'd finished this, and mind you, she saw me go through it because it took us 3 tries. And it was just various problems between me not mixing the resin right in one version me not sculpting the tail right in another version. It just kept going wrong. But the fact is I couldn't have gotten to this idea if I didn't do this stupid one first. That was kind of the thing, the lips and the googly eyes. It was really a dumb idea, and I think I even knew it at the time, but I thought, it'll make a good video. And you could argue that it's still a dumb idea, but I like it. And everybody I know likes it. Hey, look. You can put stuff in it. Man, it's pretty cool, huh? It's sharp, though. You'd have to give this to somebody like with a warning. My tail got a little funky, but whatever. I don't even care. I know my niece is gonna want it, and no. I'm gonna hobble the one together from all the little parts that I have and make her a Dragonberry. She can have that one. Sometimes you really, really do have to just allow yourself to go through your dumb ideas so that you can get to your good ones. I couldn't have really landed here if I didn't start off with the googly eyes and the plastic clips. And we got here, so that's all that matters. Doesn't matter how you got here, as long as you arrived. I'm going to link Jen's video below. She also had it developed through a pretty organic process, which started with just an idea of doing something elegant and sweet, and she certainly accomplished that, so be sure to check it out. If you got this far into the video, I think it's like an hour long. If you got this far into the video, as always, I totally appreciate you watching. I hope you learned something. I hope you try something. Until next time, folks.